Astrology is a secret code to success. It's the most mysterious and enthralling subject I've ever come across. I've lived and loved astrology for almost 20 years now, and I'm still amazed by it. Astrology is a divination method that's been tried and tested for millennia. I've used it to decode my own life and to help other people in one-on-one consultations. I've also often employed it to help friends going through hard times. I've lectured on astrology in various parts of the world, had tons of positive live and digital feedback, held countless workshops, and written articles, columns, and books about it. I find it surprising and somewhat infuriating that some of the greatest scientific minds in the world today completely dismiss astrology without having studied it or even tested it for 5 minutes, let alone the decades it takes to learn it properly. My first astrology teacher repeatedly told me to test it, test it, test it, and I continue to test astrology every day of my life. The simple fact is, astrology works. And in this audiobook, I will show you how. My astrological beginnings. The friends I made in high school insist that I was very interested in astrology, talking about the stars and signs way back then. I genuinely have no recollection of this, and my only early memory of astrology from when I was about 12 years old was reading my horoscope in a British teen magazine for girls called Pink. I lived in Tasmania, Australia, and wondered whether the information it contained was the same for the northern and the southern hemispheres. It is. As far as I'm concerned, my journey, at least in this lifetime as a stargazer, began back in my days as a freelance journalist. A friend who was a serious astrologer was clearing her office of astrology books out in preparation for a move, and, knowing I was interested in the subject, she donated several boxes of her favourite titles to me. It was a true treasure trove, and straight away I sensed that something big was happening. Essentially, my friend gifted me with a hand-picked collection of the very best astrology books of the previous 100 years or so, written by the most recognised authors. They were worth hundreds or even thousands of pounds, but beyond their material value, I knew instinctively they were going to change my life. When I look back on that gift, I feel it was karmic. That same friend also gave me some simple lessons in how to work out my birth chart and create charts for friends. She also briefed me on making predictions. I started reading those astrology books and compared what I found in them with my own chart. Suddenly, I made sense to myself. I think, with the exception of learning how to meditate, it was the most revelatory experience I've ever had. I believe that we incarnate with the birth chart that we do because we have lessons to learn from what's in that birth chart. Decoding that information is astrology's job, and here I was being given the decoding keys. Suffice it to say, I fell in love with astrology almost instantly. I delved into it more and more deeply every day. I couldn't stop reading those books. I also signed up to several online astrology lists, which allowed me to communicate with amazing astrologers across the world.